everybody, welcome back, and this is part 2 of the series on laziness or sloth. And if you didn't watch part 1, be sure to go back and watch that because you're gonna get the definition of what sloth, what laziness actually is. But part 2, we're gonna learn where sloth, where laziness hides in our lives. Now, none of us are probably gonna claim to be the Homer Simpson, like couch-ridden person that is kind of portrayed in modern media, this lazy bum who doesn't do anything. But there are areas and instances of laziness in our lives that we might actually be missing. And God might actually have much more for us than a life in laziness, in sloth. And so this sermon that you're gonna watch, this clip, is taken from a series I did in the 7 deadly sins. Sloth is one of those deadly sins. And honestly, it's kind of funny how sloth and the gluttony series, or the sermon rather I did, were so popular. And I think actually this hits home for a lot of people, but it's not something discussed in churches. So anyway, part 2 on where does sloth, where does laziness hide in your life is coming up right now.
You're gonna need to know where it hides too though, right? Because like most of us feel like, hey, I'm not that lazy. But actually, there's a seed of all these in our hearts. So where does it hide? Here's the first place it hides. It hides in a failure to understand the Sabbath. What does this mean? Some of you, what is the Sabbath? The Sabbath is a day that God gave us in the 7-day week to rest and recover, to worship God. But right now in 2019, we live in such a comfortable life where now theologians are debating the nuances of the Sabbath. And when I say theologians, I mean 24-year-old kids who went to Bible college. And they're understanding, what are the nuances of the Sabbath? And, how should I Sabbath? And when should I Sabbath? And what apps do I need to Sabbath well? Maybe I'll download Calm and Netflix and meditate and alternate between YouTube and Netflix and Calm apps. And I'll get my coffee delivered through Postmates so I don't have to move. And I'll just meditate and discuss the nuances of everything that is important regarding the Sabbath. But again, God created work before the fall. So we have a generation, really, a very comfortable generation of people that are discussing the nuances of Sabbath when we haven't learned to work these other 6 days yet. There is 6 other days in the week, and we haven't learned to work them efficiently and effectively. Here in America, you got 2 days off. Not 1, you got 2, right? The Jewish Sabbath fell on the Saturday. The resurrection day was on the Sunday. When the country was founded, they weren't sure which day to give, so they gave you both. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. You have two Saturday and Sunday off. And we're over here figuring out, man, what other days can I Sabbath? This company only offers 30 paid work days off. I'm looking for 45-ish, right? We're discussing the nuances of trying to find more time off, more time off, more time off. We don't understand Sabbath. The Sabbath was actually created for a holy day of worship and honor towards God, that we would devote all of our time to rest and recharge so that we would be ready for the next day to come where we would work faithfully. Yeah? Where else does sloth hide? It hides in the many names we give to laziness. So I'm not lazy, I'm just blank. Okay? Like Shakespeare, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, right? It's still a rose. You can call it a dump truck, it's still a rose. And here, we give lots of different names to laziness. I'll give you a couple. My favorite is comfort addiction. Comfort-addiction. It's a psychological term for laziness, but we call it a comfort addiction. This person is a victim to their comfort needing. They're just, they have to be comfortable at all times. They're addicted, and they need help. And so what sort of medications and pharmaceuticals can we give them, like crack or something? Like, what are you going to give them to get them up? Okay? It's comfort addiction. Oh, there's more. Discomfort avoidance. So they're not addicted to comfort necessarily. They're addicted to not being discomfortable. Yeah, this is real. This is real. My brother-in-law has it. I'm just kidding. Gosh, every week I'm going to get him. Discomfort avoidance. How do I avoid discomfort at all costs? Right? Not just in conversations, but just in general. I mean, putting on your shoes is difficult, so now why not Velcro shoes? Make it easier on yourselves. Instead of jeans, why not sweatpants that look like jeans? Why not jeggings? Why don't I put jeggings on? And people think I'm wearing jeans, but I'm wearing cozy sweatpants all day. We're just getting more comfortable, more comfortable. If you ever go to the grocery store at 8 a.m., you'll know what I'm talking about. Or Walmart at any time. You will see people very comfortable in their apparel choices. Discomfort avoidance. You must be comfortable at all times, especially when shopping at Walmart. Another name we might give to laziness is this concept, maybe not a name, but a concept of intellectualism around it, where intellectual discussions on the nuances of work and comfort, right? We pose ourselves as these really intelligent people, right? We're very smart. And here in San Francisco, pretty common. A lot of smart people in the Bay Area. And so we're discussing the nuances again of comfort and, man, what is it like? And, all these people are out here working and, man, that's just a lot of work. And, man, there's a smarter way to do a lot of this stuff. And I feel like if people just followed me, like, they might figure it out. We're just discussing it, right? In between Fortnite games and things like that, right? We're trying to figure out a lot of intellectualism taking place here. Which my buddy Homer Simpson comes back. Do we have it? Do we have the next one? There it is. It says, boy, everyone is stupid except me. Here's Homer laying on his back. This is actually from an episode where Homer skips church and realizes that everyone is stupid for going to church. You can just chill all Sunday morning. And here he is, hanging out, eating chips, and smoking a cigar. Right? Proverbs 26:16 says, the sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. The sluggard always thinks they're the one that got it all figured out, just like our boy Homer. You got it all figured out. Everyone's working too hard. All you got to do is get your parents to pay for it. It's not that big of a deal. Find yourself a sugar mama that works. Hey, I'm for women's rights. I'll stay right home, hang out, keep an eye out, look out the window, make sure no one robs the place while she faithfully serves and earns the money. Women's rights, man. Here we go. Equality at its finest. And we'll intellectually figure out ways to justify our laziness, yeah? No, I don't have a job right now. I'm in between things. I'm kind of like a photographer / drummer / used to work at Quiznos / I work on cars, but I haven't done that in a while. I'm just in between things right now. But you guys, you work, you're part of the rat race, man. That's your problem, right? A sluggard is wiser in his own eyes, not in anyone else's, than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Where else does this, or what other names do we have? Apathy is another name for laziness. I'm not lazy, I just don't care. That's an interesting way to justify it. You can just not care. That's interesting. I'm not lazy, I just don't care. Procrastination, you thought procrastination was not about laziness? I just don't want to do it. That's a lot of work. I'm distracted. I'm just distracted, right? No, you could be being lazy. Idleness. I'm not lazy, I'm just not doing anything. There's a difference. And we start splitting hairs. I'm not lazy, I'm idle. I'm figuring things out, right? I'm kind of like in neutral right now, man. That's what I'm doing. What else? Some things we tell ourselves, I don't feel like it. I'm not lazy, I just don't feel like doing that. It's funny you say that, because that seems like you'd be lazy. Well, what do you feel like doing? Sitting down, doing nothing? Going for a walk when you should be working? Something? No. I'm not lazy. I just need some me time. I see a little me time. I see a little pamper day. This is about me today. It's time for cozy sweats and, whatever television show's on. I'm going to watch that. Me time. I'm not lazy. I just go with the flow. I'm just chill. I'll just go with the flow, right? That's all I am. I'm not lazy. What do you want to do? I don't know. You want to get up today? Whatever. You want to eat? Maybe. Where do you want to go? What do you like? It's all good to me. Is it that? You don't even want to think? I'll just go with the flow. And then one of my favorite things is to treat yourself. It's a treat yourself day. It's a day I'm not working today. I'm going to the mall, man. PacSun, Claire's, The Buckle, all the hot stores. I'm going to buy all the good stuff. Flip-flops, belts with bedazzles, all that stuff. It's me day, okay? I'm hanging out. It's time to treat yourself. And treat yourself day turns into treat yourself week, turns into treat yourself month, turns into treat yourself to the unemployment line, okay? That's the way it works. And then, in the words of the great Protestant reformer, Cat Williams, you just got to take care of your star player. It's time to just take care of your star player, right? It's time to take care of your star player. It's all about you, man. Man, this is crazy. But you also do see sloth hides in other places. One is in a failure to order your life well. Now, this is going to be for most of us, because I think most of us will say, hey, listen, I'm working hard. You don't understand. Like, I work a lot of hours. It's hard to do public transportation in the Bay Area. I work from home and I grind. I have a family, whatever it is. I work very difficult. Well, let's do a little bit of reverse engineering to see here if you order your life well. Do you stare at a screen all day for work? Does anyone do that? A lot of people? Yeah? Do you stare at a screen all day at work? Do you get off of work and then go home and look at another screen? A television? An iPad? Do you do that? And then after that screen is over, do you lay in bed and look at another screen? Couple hours, yeah? And then do you fall asleep later than you wanted to because you were looking at said screen?
Every night.
Okay, every night. And then do you wake up groggy and needing to caffeinate because of falling asleep late because of the screen? Yeah? And do you perhaps miss the gym because you woke up late and it's time, you gotta find carbs and sugar and coffee now. There's no time for any of that stuff. Do you see what's happening here? Maybe your work isn't actually what's exhausting you. Maybe it's the screen-addicted culture that makes you feel anxious and overwhelmed. You are probably confusing hard work with being tired. You may be tired, but you haven't worked hard because you're addicted to your phone, which causes you to disrupt all sorts of biological things that cause you to not sleep well and then to eat poorly after. Perhaps a failure to order your life well is what's confusing yourself with thinking that you actually are working hard. What people say, I just like my phone. Yeah, of course you just like your phone. We all like it. They were actually built for our attention. They weren't built to serve us. We were built to look at them. And then the more you look at them, the more money these companies make. That's the point, right? That's the goal. Yeah? And so, yes, of course we like them. Phones are valuable. I have a phone. We should all have phones. That's a good thing. But instead of thinking that you've worked hard all day, perhaps if you ordered your life better, you might not be as tired. And maybe there is room for yourself to improve in laziness. You see what I'm saying? In another place, sloth hides is in a lack of understanding of the meaning of life. Many of us think that comfort is what brings meaning. The goal is to get as comfortable as possible, as fast as possible in life. Yeah? You seen that sign along I-80? Prudential, is it Prudential? It says, they're making fun of our generation for being lazy. Prove them right and retire early. You seen that? It's catchy, really smart. But all the studies show that when people retire early, they often feel lost and in a crisis. Why? Because they discovered that the comfort that early retirement brought didn't bring them meaning. You see, meaning and comfort are not the same thing. But accidentally lazy folks, slothful people, all of us at times will think that comfort and meaning are the same thing. And so our goal is to get out of much discomfort as possible and find as much comfort as possible. And the more comfort we have, the more meaning we have. The more we can relax. Golf all day, play mahjong with the gals on the beach. I don't know what you find yourself wanting to do in retirement, but my goodness, meaning is what brings people life. This is what brings people life. My in-laws sail. They sail, and I've been on their boat a few times, and it's pretty cool. I like sailing. But one time my father-in-law was like, hey, why don't you grab the rudder? And obviously, I'd never been on a boat before, so I'm like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's this giant stick here, this wooden stick that you grab and it helps steers the ship. Yeah? Your meaning in your life is the rudder. When you defect to comfort only and you live comfortable lives constantly, you are like a ship without a rudder. You're like a sailboat in the water without a rudder. You have no ability to steer. You're just going with the flow, man. But you got no way to steer that thing. No direction to go. And guess what? You got nowhere to go anyway. It sounds like slavery. It sounds like being stranded. That's what it sounds like. No radio to call anybody. You're just stuck. So we find that sloth hides in a lack of understanding in the meaning of life, right? Because laziness says that comfort is meaning. And then the last place, and I'll just reiterate what I said earlier, where sloth hides, is in a blame shifting and victim mentality. It's always somebody else's fault. Coach didn't play me, so I quit. I've heard that a million times. Our coach didn't play me, so I quit. Well, did you work hard? No. I was one of the laziest people on my team. Well, you blame the coach for your success. Professor didn't give me my due. I worked really hard. Professor didn't give me my due, so I quit. Yeah, and guess what? If that's all you did and you quit, and that was the end of it, that would be one thing. but it's the people that 5, 10, 15 years later are still blaming that professor. And here's the problem. Some of us want that professor to not embrace us so we can quit. And then we blame them as a justification for our own failure to be diligent in the work we have. So many of us have these people, these like hypothetical people that we've shape-shifted into these like things that we're just going to blame for the problems in our lives. Like, can you believe it? You know, my sister did this to me, and there's just no way I could ever change because of what she did. And you're holding on to that nugget so hard. Some of us blame our parents for everything. I mean, this is like common right now to just go, mom and dad did it. Yeah, my mom and dad didn't raise me well. If they had done better, then maybe I would be a lot better. Oh, wait till your kids are 18 and 20 years old. Wait till you see all of the failures you have, because it is coming. My kids are 6. My oldest is 6, and I'm already like, I'm Father of the Year. I'm off the list. Okay, like I'm not getting nominated this year. Okay, this is not happening. Kids are difficult, but here we're blaming our parents for everything. My mom didn't raise me in this way, so here I am now. This is why I'm the way I am now. My dad, he was a little bit too aggressive with me, and so now I'm aggressive towards the people I know, and man, I'm a victim to what my father did for me. There's a doctrine in the Bible called Christus Victor. It means that Christ is our victor. That means when Jesus dies on the cross, that we get victory in all the things of our lives over the things that hold us back. We get it. Christus Victor. But when we take an L in a relationship, you rob the victory out of Christ's cross in that relationship. So, for instance, your dad, your mom did something horrible to you, and so now you can't change because of it. You're essentially saying, I know Christ won everything else, but in this relationship, he gets no victory. I lost. Christ gets no victory in that relationship. But God works all things out for the according to the purposes of his will, right? That's what the scriptures teach. That means that could have been a part of God's plan that you would be that way. So why would you look at a relationship that God has for you in your lives that might have built you up and made you something and declare loss on that relationship when God says he's the victor? We cannot be victims to the actions of other people and then conjure up more manipulative caricatures of them and hold them up as some sort of like thing that's held you back for your whole life. It could be a way to justify your own laziness for changing. Could be.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the Sloth and Laziness series. If you're enjoying this series and if you're enjoying our channel, will you just like this video, subscribe to the channel so I can get more biblical health, biblical-based wellness principles out to the masses? That would be awesome. And keep a lookout for part 3 coming soon.